Many of us are familiar with companies like Lyft and Uber. However, the instability of state and local governments to adequately oversee these companies, their drivers and vehicles, has created problems many of us might not be familiar with. We're not faulting Uber or Lyft for trying to enter a market. What we're doing is we're asking them to play by the same rules that the cab companies and taxi companies have to do. State-imposed regulatory discrepancies have altered the free market and created an unequal playing field with devastating impacts on local taxi cab drivers.
Uber does not train their drivers in basic public safety and driving skills. On November 21st last year, 27-year-old Dustin Dilks was out drinking with friends in Middleton and called an Uber for a ride home. Dustin asked the driver to let him out of the Uber. The Uber driver pulled over and let him out on a highway. Moments later, Dustin Dilks walked onto the Beltline and was hit and killed by another car. People are getting sexually assaulted. People are getting beaten up by fake Ubers because we don't have a way for customers to clearly identify what their Uber cab is.
One big item, I think, to help clear everything up is going to be a fingerprint background check with actual fingerprints by an impartial third party checking that.
When you go into a restaurant, you assume that there's basic protections, that the kitchen is being checked by a food inspector, that there are clean and sanitary practices that are being followed by every single restaurant. My kids are starting school in 2 weeks, and I assume all of the teachers have credentials, that they are qualified teachers, that they have passed a background check. And I think most people, when they're getting into a cab or they're getting into an Uber or Lyft, assume that the person would pass a criminal background check, that they have proper insurance, and if something happens, that they're going to be, that they're not going to be held liable and they're not going to get into a bad situation. Right now, that's not the case. That's not the case for those who are getting into Uber and Lyft. We want to make sure that that is the case.